Actually, I'd like to ask a question to each of you to respond to briefly, which is, what were you looking to see happen after '88? I mean, and I don't mean just like after the Democratic Convention, because there were divisions about whether people should support Dukakis or just sit home or whatever. But particularly in terms of what should happen with the rainbow, what was it that you were advocating and what were you expecting?
Well, I think, one of the things that happened is that the left by '89, a lot of the independent left groups had already dissolved, because I know the LRS dissolved in 1990. So by 1989, we were already on our way. And I think some of the people in the national leadership knew it, even if the rank and file did not. And I think what happened was that I think we did end up tailing Jesse more than we should have. Especially, there was also a division. I think the African-American cadre who worked with Jesse knew him the best and also had the most doubts about his acceptance of the left. But the ironic thing was that a lot of the Asian American cadre ended up on his staff. So just like the difference between union staff and rank and file union members, Bill, which I think you well know, we ended up supporting Jesse when he said, it's time for us to move on and to dissolve. This is what we're going to do. And I think that especially a lot of the folks who made it on to high levels of the campaign staff supported him. And the other thing that was happening is because the dissolution was well in sight with the LRS, a lot of the, how should I say this? A lot of the comrades that were ready to move back into the mainstream already had that idea in mind. So there were already local races that people were thinking about running for, although it was not spoken about at the time. And I think that made it much easier to kind of meld into the Democratic Party. Having done their job at the Rainbow, but now they could say the Rainbow's over, we're back and we're going to run for our local office in whatever capacity as a part of the left, if you will, of the Democratic Party. So they were no longer a threat as an independent force. I think that's really what happened with us.
Thank you. Ellen?
We had the experience both in our work with Reverend Jackson and with Bernie Sanders that you encounter sometimes these historically very significant individuals with tremendous capacity to analyze, to integrate a program, to compellingly speak to people across lines of class, race, and so on. So they call into existence the factors that we need to build a powerful, democratic, rank and file, grassroots movement. But then both something about their personality, as well, of course, as the political culture that we exist in, means that it translates at best into a vehicle for them as individuals. And does not translate into the kind of organization which I think many of us on this panel would agree we are seeking. Certainly in the labor movement, in which I am most deeply engaged, the struggle for rank and file democratic unions, not dissimilar. So I guess I would say that our hopes then remain true. Can we draw into existence this kind of compelling dynamic that brings people in, but then we are mature enough, we're capable enough to build structures that allow us to survive the individual exigencies of a single personality. We were not successful with that with Jesse.